What's going on, everyone? Welcome back into the channel. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone watching, and I don't think this Thanksgiving could have gone any better, guys. What a game by these Green Bay Packers, beating the Detroit Lions, the 8-3 Detroit Lions, 29-22. I am so hype right now. There's just so much great to take out of this game. And yeah, the Green Bay Packers are still 5-6, and maybe I should pump the brakes a little bit, but I'm going to be riding this all the way throughout the weekend because, man, what a game. What a game for this offense, for Jordan Love, for Matt LaFleur, and some players on defense. There's still some issues on that defense, and the game honestly shouldn't have came down to 7 points there in the very end, but nonetheless, a win on Thanksgiving. The Packers back on Thanksgiving for the first time since 2013. And just like old times, they're back on Thanksgiving beating the Detroit Lions. So in today's video, I'm going to go over my instant thoughts and reaction on this Week 12 Thanksgiving Green Bay Packers win. Before we dive into that, though, I got to talk to you guys about this year's channel sponsor, BetUS, and they have an awesome Thanksgiving promo going on right now, a Black Friday promo. Usually you'd get a 125% deposit match, but now with my link down in the description, that is up to a 150% deposit match up to $2,500. So use the link down below, sign up on BetUS, and going into the website, and first and foremost, BetUS has excellent customer service, and this site is very easy to use. So what I like doing is going into games and making a parlay on player props. Definitely my favorite aspect of the website. I made a prop for this game, Packers versus Lions, but now that that's over with a Packers win, you can pick another game, say San Francisco versus Seattle. You could go into pass interceptions. You could get Brock Purdy on an interception, Geno Smith on an interception. There's so many different categories: receiving yards, passing yards, receptions. Receptions is one I really like. I feel like they're really good for parlays, a bunch of these player props. So you could see all the different options here, and this is for every game. So guys, definitely go check out BetUS. Remember to gamble responsibly, but use the link down below if you do, and get a 150% deposit match for a limited time. All right, so now let's dive into my instant thoughts and reactions of this Week 12 win. We're going to start with the offense, and man, this was Jordan Love's best game of his career. Shout out to Jordan Love. Shout out to Jordan Love. He had an excellent day today, 22 of 32, 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 0 sacks taken, a 125.5 quarterback rating. Jordan Love had his most accurate day, his most precise day, and his most in control day. I just want to know where all the Clifford supporters are. I feel like week in, week out, we have people saying Jordan Love isn't the answer. And yes, we have a whole lot of football to be played left in this 2023 season, but you can't lie and say you weren't impressed today by what was put on show by Jordan Love and this offense against an 8-2 Lions team with a very solid defense. I was super impressed with Jordan Love today. There was that one slant touchdown to Jaden Reed fitting between 2 defenders. That reminded me of an Aaron Rodgers throw. He was making throws off platform multiple times in this game very accurately, and still, even yet, 22 of 32 had 2 pretty bad drops. A Romeo Doubs quick slant, and then a really impressive corner route by Jaden Reed with Aiden Hutchinson in his face. Fired the ball out there, and Reed had a pretty bad drop there as well. But man, finally started to connect with Christian Watson, and this was the best game for Christian Watson to break out. 5 receptions, 94 yards, and a touchdown. Probably would have had another touchdown if Jordan Love put more air under that ball late on that deep crosser. They started out firing to Christian Watson with that deep ball, just setting the tone for this game. The Packers won the coin toss yet received, which Matt LaFleur never does, and I love that. It literally set the tone for this game. When we saw last time against the Lions on Thursday night, they set the tone. So Matt LaFleur said, that's not going to happen again. We're going to set the tone. We want the ball. We're going to score, just like Matt Hasselbeck said. Other players to step on this offense, obviously we have to talk about Malik Heath, an undrafted free agent wide receiver that just started to be active in games a few weeks ago. I mean, that man made some grown man catches in today's game. There's one where Jordan Love had to roll out right, throw it across field to Malik Heath, who went up and got that ball, right? Malik Heath finished 4 of 46. Very impressed from what I saw from him today, stepping up in the absence of Tay Wicks. A.J. Dillon was great catching the ball today, 3 catches, 38 yards. Romeo Doubs, a little bit of a down day, had a drop, but he also had some really nice, strong-handed catches, a nice deep dig route by Jordan Love, which is a very impressive throw, but also a very impressive catch when he had blanket coverage over him. Romeo Doubs, 3 for 37, and then also Jaden Reed, man, 4 for 34 and a touchdown, but also ran 2 for 16. How the Packers are using Jaden Reed right now is just awesome. I feel like it's been a very long time since the Packers had a gadget slot type of wide receiver that they could use in so many different ways. And at this point, I think he does even more than prime Randall Cobb. Not saying he's as good as prime Randall Cobb right now, but they did use Randall Cobb out of the backfield in some cases, but he wasn't really a jet motion type of guy. And I love that Jaden Reed is such a natural runner, and he's doing it well game in, game out. Also, obviously got to give a shout out to Tucker Kraft for his first NFL touchdown, stepping in for Luke Musgrave, who is on IR now, and he will be our starting tight end going forward. Tucker Kraft, he had 2 for 15 and that touchdown. Just an awesome play design, too. They've been handing the ball off to A.J. Dillon out of shotgun all season on short yardage situations, and twice this game they fooled the Lions with different looks. A quick play action throw over the top to Tucker Kraft on a block and release for a touchdown, and also late in that game, that read option. You guys know how much I hate short yardage shotgun handoff to A.J. Dillon because it gets stopped a lot of the time. So that's all the Lions thought the Packers were going to do because that's all that's on tape. And that read option was perfectly executed, perfectly planned by Matt LaFleur. I loved that call. I'll say this, the Packers pass blocking offensive line was excellent today. Shout out to Zach Tom. I mean, he handled business today against Aiden Hutchinson. Basically erased him from the game. He had a couple pressures, but man, shout out to Zach Tom. He's already becoming one of the best tackles in the NFL, and that is so awesome. The Packers did rotate Josh Nijman and Rasheed Walker. I thought they both had good days. As for the right guard spot, John Runyon still continues to struggle. They did bring Sean Ryan in a few times, and I want to go back and watch that tape later, but Sean Ryan still needs to start. Free Sean Ryan, guys. All right, so now moving over to the defensive side of the ball. First, the best of the day, these edge rushers and creating turnovers. Rashawn Gary, probably his best game of his season or even his career. 3 sacks, forced that fumble. The Packers got home on Jared Goff early and often, and they set the tone against a very good Detroit Lions offensive line. That was the winner today for the defense. Now, there are still some issues with this defense. I feel like the soft zone continued to get beat. And Joe Barry's mantra is almost, hopefully the other team messes up, like a high throw to Sam Laporta on 3rd down that was very open, wide open across the middle like everyone else was all day. The soft zone, I just feel like isn't the look for the Green Bay Packers. Isaiah McDuffie seemed lost out there in a zone coverage. So obviously not having Devondre Campbell out there definitely hurt. The Lions just had the middle of the field wide open all day, and without creating turnovers and the Lions going for it way too many times on 4th down, including that fake punt. I mean, this game might have been a lot closer. I know it's still only a 7-point game, but the Lions probably would have won this game without, the Packers creating so many turnovers. The Packers still only scored 6 points on 3 turnovers. So that's another point there. They need to convert on their turnovers. But man, I still got to give a shout out to this defense in terms of the way it rushed the passer. Shout out Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith, Van Ness, Enigbare, Carl Brooks. Man, what a game from Carl Brooks. You guys know how high I am on him. Forcing that fumble early. Kenny Clark with a nice day. TJ Slayton, Devontae White. I feel like everyone in this front 7, or at least on the defensive line, played excellent today, and they owned that line of scrimmage. They were running stunts all day on this Detroit O-line, and they had no answer for it. They took Jared Goff off his platform, made him uncomfortable, and that's how they won this game. I feel like the Lions still ran the ball well, but they were down the whole game, so they couldn't do it too much. Montgomery, 15 for 71. He's such a tough runner and tough to bring down. Gibbs, 11 for 54. Kind of thought they'd utilize him a little bit more, especially, in the passing game. He only had 4 receptions, and I say only, but for only 19 yards. The line still ran 31 times for 140 yards and a touchdown. And if they had the lead early, they would have ran a lot more. So again, credit to Matt LaFleur for taking the ball first and going down there and putting up a nice score. So the run defense still kind of an issue. But playing ahead definitely helped them. In terms of receiving, they held Amon St. Brown in check until the second half. Then he finished with 9 receptions, 95 yards. A lot of those on wide open crossers, like I was talking about. Raymond, 5 for 90. Jamison Williams, 2 for 51. Had 2 really nice, long plays. He's been kind of a inconsistent player for the Lions as of late. They held Sam Laporta kind of in check, 5 for 47. He did have a touchdown. He's been excellent for them all year. Late in that game, they went for it again and took a shot back to the end zone to Laporta, and Quay Walker that time had excellent coverage on him. So really nice job by the defense there. Overall, I just think this defense still needs to be more aggressive. I got to give a shout out to all these young players on it though. Carrington Valentine, Corey Ballantyne, Anthony Johnson Jr. at safety, I thought was awesome today, and he needs to start moving forward. But also John Owens had an excellent game. I thought he was a little bit inconsistent, and there was times where it's like, dude, what angle are you taking against these running plays? But then there's other times where he's laying the hammer, picking up a fumble for a scoop and score. He was our leading tackler in this game with 12 total tackles, 8 solo, 1 tackle for loss, a touchdown. So definitely a great game overall by John Owens, but he still has some inconsistencies. But yeah, this team and the young talent that it has makes me so optimistic for the future. The Packers still have a chance at the playoffs, but even if they don't make the playoffs, how young and talented this team is makes me very hopeful for the future, especially if Love keeps playing like the way he did today. I want to know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm going to ride this victory throughout the entire weekend and not worry about the next Kansas City game until Monday. The Packers can hopefully get healthy over this mini bye. It's going to be a different game against Kansas City, but hey, a win on Thanksgiving is the most you can ask for right now against the, at the time, 8-2 Detroit Lions. I'm so happy right now, guys. Leave a like down below if you agree. And also in the comments, let me know your takeaways from this game. But that about does it for this one. I'll catch you on the next one. And as always, go Pack Go.